What is up, everyone? We are here today. This is my platform called the Ham and Turkey, but I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm streaming on Twitter. I'm streaming on where else am I streaming on? Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm here today and got more of my athlete interviews. Just trying to create more content for myself. So today I have a very special guest. I have my man Zaimir Hawk. Hopefully, I'm saying his name right. We're gonna, sit down with him today and chop it up a little bit. So after we get this waiting screen and get this video right, we're gonna get into our interview with Zaimir Hawk from Hillside.
Lizzie, let it go. Lizzie, let it go.
All right, we're now going to get into this interview. Again, this is one of my favorite defensive line prospects in the 2023 class. For those of you who don't know, I am a high school football scout in the state of New Jersey, so I get the opportunity to watch a lot of the great players and watch their tape and watch their film and get to conduct interviews such as this. So again, today I have interior D lineman from Hillside, Zaimir Hawk. I'm gonna ask him when I bring him in. Am I saying his name right? But I have Zaimir Hawk today. We're gonna ask him a couple questions so I can get to know him. So Zaimir, what's going on, man? Oh, you gotta unmute yourself.
How you doing?
Good, 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 man. First of all, am I? Please tell me that I'm saying your name right, Zaimir, right?
Nah, Zaimir. But everybody,
Zaimir.
everybody call
Thank
me,
you.
yeah, everybody call me Hawk though.
Okay, Hawk. All right, I can do that.
Mhm.
I can do that. I
Yeah.
can do that. All right. So first of all, my very, very, very first question, as I asked you off camera, is: did you know that you were ranked as the number one interior defensive lineman for your class by PrepRedzone?
I did not. It was when you told me, I was surprised because I didn't really like what I told you. A question we're gonna get into later. I didn't like I was surprised that like I felt like I was underrated. Like I felt like nobody was looking at me at the time. Like I just was like unspoken for really.
No, see, that's the great thing about me. Like, I came from an analytics background, so I started out, studying, NFL players, and like I said, I work for a company called Pro Football Focus. That's an analytics company that's owned by Chris Collinsworth. So, and plus my background is in evaluation. I went to somewhere called the Scouting Academy, so I learned how to actually scout players. So when I watch people's tape, I know what to look for. You know what I mean? I don't look
Yeah,
for if you just big or if you
yeah,
just, whatever. I look for the
yeah,
whole total package. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So with you, I feel like you have the total package though. So that's
Yeah.
why when as we progress through this interview, we'll talk about why I think that you are the number one interior D lineman in this class. But this interview is about you. So we're gonna start with our first question. Where did your love of football come from, or who sparked your love for football?
I really say it was really it's not gonna be like no D lineman. It's gonna be like it was Odell. And
Okay.
that season when he had caught that one handed catch. After that, I think I was in like sixth grade, seventh grade, I believe. And I don't think I ever played football. And
Mm-hmm.
so I never played football until then. And after I seen that, it was like, all right, I think this is what I want to do. Like hearing the crowd go crazy and hearing it all the time and seeing the interviews, seeing the videos, seeing the highlights. It was like, all right, maybe this is something that I want to do because I wasn't never interested in anything else.
That's very interesting that a wide receiver sparked your love
Yeah.
to play football.
Just for me
Are
to
you a
be a D lineman.
Yeah, that's crazy. Are you a Giants fan?
No, no, no. I'm a
Uh,
Steelers fan,
Oh,
actually.
you're a Steelers fan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So, what positions did you actually play growing up?
Uh, Growing up, I think I played like 1 year, probably a Pop Warner,
Mm-hmm.
and that was it. Not even Pop Warner, probably Pee Wee. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I like stopped playing, and then freshman year is when I really got into it. And I was like, all right, maybe like I could do something with this because
Mm-hmm.
just based off the level of how I like started working out and how I was catching up to the seniors and juniors and started working out with them and gaining the respect from people that's 2, 3 years older than me because I was always the youngest one. I was always going into freshman year. I was always like, I was 14. So it was
Mm-hmm.
like for me to be 14 competing with these guys at 17, 18 is like, all right, maybe I really got talent in this.
All right. So, like, what made you specifically choose to play D line?
It was really at my old school before I transferred because I just came to Hillside before I transferred. It was really a like a situation thing because we didn't have a lot of guys in every place, and I never played before. So usually if you don't play no other sport, they're gonna send you right to the old lineman. And
Mm-hmm.
I figured out I didn't like being an old lineman because I didn't feel as though from the old lineman's point of view I couldn't change the game. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
make that game defining play where I make that final stop where everybody go crazy and it's like I put the team on my back. And I felt like to play D line, it's the same thing as is almost the same thing as O line. And I could be able to put the team on my back and be able to just like win a game.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you on the point that at offensive line it's tough to make that game changing play. But what I'll argue is like, listen, offensive line is probably the most important unit
Yeah,
other than quarterback, the most important
yeah,
unit on the field, man. You can't
yeah.
block the opposition. It's a dub for everything.
It's gonna be
You
a
can't
hard
run. You
day.
can't right. You
Yeah,
can't do anything, man. So like in the one aspect, I do see what you're saying, but in another
yeah,
aspect, man, listen, if you are offensive lineman and you good at it, it's a
yeah,
lot of money and
yeah. A lot of
notoriety
money in there.
doing that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, but to your point about making big plays, I see you. I see you making those
mhm,
big plays. I
yeah.
see you making those plays on the goal line, man. Does that really like drive you in the game? Like, do you live for those moments?
Yeah, like it's like especially with the crew I got, like my from my D line coach to my head coach, like we like to the teammates, like we all tight. So it's like a competition out there, like from the beginning of the season, who could get the most TFLs, who could get the most sacks, who gonna end the season with the most tackles. No matter what position you at, whether you playing corner, DN, D tag, nose, anything, it don't matter. If we want you winning or being first, it doesn't stop. Like you want
Mm.
like we gonna keep raising you to a higher bar, higher level, so that we could keep competing at like a different level than the people that we play with.
And that's an interesting point you brought up about your positional versatility. That's one of the things that I wrote in my article. Is another reason why I had you as the number one interior D lineman because I believe that you can not only play one tech, but you can play three tech, and you can even play a little DN. Because I remember one clip
Yeah,
that you had on your highlight, you are rushing at DN, so that was another
yeah.
reason why. Can you talk a little bit about your positional versatility and which line position do you actually enjoy playing the most?
Uh, that I enjoy is really nose because I'm
Mm-hmm.
right in the middle, right in the nitty gritty, right in the trenches. I feel like it's really fun to see like you could see like a play unfold from like based off of where you're at. The
Mm-hmm.
teams like nobody really knew about me when I first transferred. So like once like watching on film, like constantly watching with the coaches, seeing how teams start to change their schemes and try to like get you out of the way, triple
Mhm.
teaming you, double teaming you, getting you out the way so that they team could be successful. I feel like that's like that like I enjoy it. I enjoy being the person that like I'm being most feared when I know that I got guys that could do the same damage I could do.
Mhm.
So it's
Nice.
like I feel like it's that, but and I'm definitely gonna be playing a lot more of DN this year.
Okay. And as far as college goes, what has coaches been telling you that they like you more at? Which
At
position?
nose, I've been
Nose.
getting recruited. Yeah, I've been getting recruited
Mhm.
by a lot of 3-4 teams, 3-3-5 teams, and they all say that I could fit in pretty well at nose.
Nice. So my next question is, do you have a trainer?
No.
No. Okay. That that X-nays my next question because I was gonna ask you. Well, we can modify the question. How has your defensive line coach specifically helped you get better? And you're like, man, my defensive
Mhm.
line coach really helped me improve here.
Yeah. It's really not focusing on those like crazy moves, stuff that you might only see in a one-on-one.
Mhm.
It's okay to have those things in your book bag when you're ready to get in your bag and do all these fancy swipes and all these different moves and these hop steps, all this other stuff. When it's a one-on-one, when it's just you and the guy across from you. But when it comes time to game time, is you could hit a guy with a jab step and a swim, or hit a guy with a dip and rip or a club or a one arm bull. Those are really the things that my coach loves to preach and like game time prep and also making sure that we play in the defense where as a nose guard you have to get flat down the line. You have to
Mhm.
stay behind the line of scrimmage. You got to keep firing your feet because at one point maybe the running back might not be going towards you, but you still got to make that play. You still a guy that's supposed to make that play, so you still got to be able to move.
Yeah, I'm very impressed listening to you talk about, scheme and the nuances of playing D tackle, which brings me to my next question. What are some important traits you believe you need to have to be a really good defensive lineman?
Motor, aggressiveness, confidence, a lot of confidence because it's going to be times I know once I go to college, it's going to be times, it's going to always be times where the guy that's ahead of me, the guy that's ahead of me is 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", is going to be just a mammoth. But as
Mhm.
long as I got the confidence that I always got, I don't believe nobody could block me.
And I see it on tape, man. Like I said, the superlative that you won for me was I believe that you had you're the most explosive interior D lineman in this class. And one of the most important things about playing D line period is you gotta have that initial burst, gotta have that first step. You look at all of the elite interior defenders, they got it. Aaron Donald, Grady
Yeah,
Jarrett, Fletcher Cox. He's more of a bull rusher type guy, but they all have that first step quickness, that's gonna help them get around. And you have that. And not only
yeah,
do you have that, you have those hands. I saw in
yeah,
your bio that you're a wrestler. So this is a question I'm gonna ask for my dad because my dad, he's a big wrestler. He wrestled. He got so many trophies for wrestling. He actually was recruited to wrestle in college. But
yeah.
how has wrestling helped you as a defensive lineman?
I wrestled my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman year and sophomore year. I think wrestling is really like knowing where to put your hands and knowing how to focus on where you want to put your hands and being able to have that flexibility to stay low or move where you want to do or move where you want to go. Because I feel like for the guys that's never wrestled or never did anything outside of football, I feel like they lack the ability to like have the confidence in their hands where they believe size is just everything. Because I've gone against guys that's wrestling lightweight that has took me down and slammed me or
Mm-hmm.
almost put me. So it's like I feel like being able to go outside of your comfort zone and being able to learn from other sports to bring it back home, bring it back to football. I feel like that's really what helped me expand my game.
Nice. And you always see, specifically for the O line, but you always see if you were a really good O lineman, you could always track it back to them playing wrestling in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, wrestling, excuse me, in some way, shape, or form. So that's very interesting to hear you talk about how it equates the defensive side of the football. So my next question for you is, what is it like playing at Hillside? You said you transferred, so you're gonna have to educate me on which school you transferred from.
Yeah.
But from that school to playing at Hillside, what is it like?
I used to go to a school called North Collegiate Academy.
Okay.
And I transferred. I transferred after my sophomore season to go live with my dad. And so
Mm-hmm.
once I transferred to Hillside, it was really like a shock because at NCA, that's what we call it. So at
Mm-hmm.
NCA, it was like I was one of the best guys as a 15-year-old. So
Mm-hmm.
it really wasn't like any competition. I didn't feel as though I was put in the best situation. And I did have great coaches. I did have great teammates and decent players, but I didn't feel like I was put in the best situation where I could like go to college and be able to perform because I still like I wanted to go to college. I want to graduate and I want to do all this. And I'm not in a situation where my parent could just
Mm-hmm.
outright pay for where I would want to go. And
Mm-hmm.
so and once I realized that football is the thing like I'm best at and that somebody is willing to pay for me to come play for them, I felt as though going to Hillside and moving with my pops was the best idea to go to Hillside. And now Hillside, it was a change because once I got there, I believe I was like the best player. Like I always believe I was like an amazing player.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got there, I realized that it was guys that was just like this was regular. Like this is them. Like my best is them on an off day.
Mm-hmm.
I get my first day there because Coach Grant, that's his name, Coach Grant.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he was like come work out with us, see how you like it first because it's way different from how it is back where you from. I
Mm-hmm.
came to work out. They and not knowing unlike what I do now, they put me with the hardest and strongest working person in like history. I'm
Yeah.
talking about he trying to get me to bench press 225 my first day.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
at the time, I was tiny. I was like 250, 260. I'm like, and
Mhm.
I've never lifted that heavy. So I'm like, this is what everybody could do here. And so
Yeah.
it was like, and then he was just one of the best players. You got guys like Darson, tall, 6'4", safety.
Mhm.
So it just was like, oh, it's definitely gonna be different. But as time went on, I was able to fit into the culture of like working hard is what people enjoy here.
Mhm.
And that's something like they don't like working hard. You got teams, you got environments where kids are only working hard just because their friends is working hard. You got
Mhm.
people coming because they love the sport, they love the game, whether or not they going D1, D2, whether they not going to college at all. They here because they love it and they still want to work hard and they're still going to hit you with it as much as they got, whether or not they might beat you or they will beat you. You still gonna get everything. It's the same
That's
things
that.
with the
Yeah.
game, same things with
Mhm.
everything.
That's amazing to hear, man. You got yourself out of a situation that you didn't feel was the most auspicious and beneficial for you to a situation that gave you what we call it a culture shock. That's what you had, a
Yeah,
culture shock.
yeah,
You had a culture shock and saw, how much these guys are working, seeing as to what it takes to be really good in it. And instead of you crumbling, you went through it, and now you at the spot you are now, and you have what 8 Division 1 offers,
yeah,
I believe, or something like
yeah.
that.
Yes,
So
sir.
I would say as an outsider looking in that you definitely made the best
The
choice
best.
for
Yeah,
yourself So now you at Hillside. I'm interested to know since I'm hearing you talk about the game. I'm hearing you talking about all this technical stuff. Clearly, you have great coaching. I want to know which D lineman in NFL specifically do you like watching to help you get better, or who do you just enjoy watching?
somebody I enjoy watching and to help me get better is Aaron Donald. Aaron
Of
Donald
course,
because
yeah.
not just because he the best in the game, but like we like our playing styles and our size is like exactly the same.
Mhm.
Like maybe not the way my body look, cause
Yeah.
that man
What is
is
Aaron Donald? 6'1", I believe, or something like
yeah,
that.
like
He's
he
6'1".
like
You're
six
6'3",
one,
right?
like 300. I'm six
Yeah.
two.
You
Going to
six
these
two?
camps, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Coach,
Some
yeah,
places got you listed as 6'2". Some
yeah.
places have you listed as 6'3". I'll give you that extra. We'll just say 6'3".
Appreciate you.
Give you that. So
Um,
is it just Aaron Donald?
nah, Aaron Donald as the like for the aspect of like finesse and like swimming because he
Mhm.
plays with a lot of guys bigger than him. Almost every game he plays with a lot of guys bigger than him, and he's still able to use his power. It's like nothing changes with him. Nothing changed from college, from high school, college to the pros. Nothing changed about how he play, and I feel like that's something that's major for me. Is that I can, like, if he can do it, then I can do it. It just take a different type of monster to be able to take on that challenge, and I feel like I'm capable of doing that from my ability to adapt and to be better than everybody that's around me. And so it's him, and then it's Vita Vea on the Buccaneers. I feel like
Oh
it's
yeah.
him
I'm real
because
familiar with Vita Vea. Yes, sir.
yeah, I feel like it's him too because of the way he just it's just his power and the way he's able to, like, he might not have all these fancy finesse moves, but if he wants you to get out the way, you're gonna get out his way. And I feel like that's something else important if you just want to be a run stopper.
Yeah, man. Listen, you just mentioned two of my favorite linemen. I'm actually a Rams fan, so I've
Yeah,
been able to watch Aaron Donald since he first got to the Rams,
yeah,
being the 13th overall pick in that year's draft. And then I
mhm,
love Vita Vea. He is probably, to
yeah,
me, the best one tech nose guard there is in the league. When
yeah,
he had that pancake, that sack against
yeah,
Tyler Biadasz week 1 last year, where he
yeah,
put him on his back into a sack, like, yo, Vita Vea. But the crazy thing about Vita Vea
hmm
is he literally been doing that since college, though. He literally been killing
yeah.
people like that.
Nothing changes, and that's what I love.
Yeah, nothing at all changes, and like you can see the difference in the Bucks' run defense when he's not in there, and that's how
Yeah,
much of a difference he makes. And it's you're probably the first lineman that I've interviewed that said Vita Vea, but not a lot of people talk about Vita Vea, but he actually is one of the best linemen in the entire
yeah,
NFL. And one thing that he doesn't get enough credit for, Vita Vea, is how athletic he is. He is
yeah,
super
yeah,
athletic to be that big. So that was a
yeah.
good lineman to bring up. So here's the golden question of the day. The question that I've been wanting to ask you for a while, man. So, like I said, as I told you off camera, I saw that you had a post that said, I'm the most underrated defensive lineman in the
Yeah.
state, right? So I want you to express to me and the people, why do you feel like you're the most underrated defensive lineman in the state?
Uh, when I first made that post, I don't think I was like I ain't had no traction. Like I ain't had no, like, college coaches knew my name. Nobody in my phone. Nobody in my Twitter DMs. It was like I wasn't ranked. Like I didn't know I was ranked or anything. So it was like once I made that post, like it was like the plays that I was making, I felt like my ranking and, like, the recognition I felt like I deserved, like, correlated. Like it wasn't like I was just making average plays and then I was like, oh, I'm underrated. Like it was like
Mhm.
I felt like I just, like, I earned my respect. And it's like if I earn my respect, I feel as though, and if I play a certain way, if any player plays a certain way, I feel as though they deserve, like, either not even just ranking, but just the recognition that any regular player would deserve. And
Mhm.
so when I made that post, really off the strength of me just believing that these guys that they got ranked the best in the state, I feel like I'm competing with them. It's no way,
Mhm.
like, if you put me in front of somebody, like, that's top ranked in the state, that they just gonna outright beat me to show me that I'm wrong. I'm
Mhm.
not saying that I'm the best in the country, but if you put me against one of the top guys, I'm definitely gonna compete with you. I'm not
So
gonna
here,
back down because you're a 4 or 5 star. I'm gonna
mhm.
compete.
You know what? One of my guys last week. This is a high profile wide receiver in the state. He told me last week. He said it's sorry dudes with stars. And the
Yeah,
thing about it is that he is not the first person to tell me that. Like just because you have stars, that don't make you,
yeah, you
a great
great.
player. Like you
Yeah.
can be trash, with stars. And the question I have for you, the next question is, do you think you're the best defensive lineman in the state?
Uh, you want to know from me personally, from my confidence,
I want you
or
to tell me, do you feel like you're the best defensive lineman in the
yeah,
state? Yes or no?
yeah, yes,
I like it.
yes,
I love it. If you would have said anything other than yes, I would have cut this interview right off. Because you gotta have that confidence, bro. You
yeah,
gotta have that confidence, bro. And like I said, obviously it's not that far fetched. If I never met you I never had one conversation with you, but I watched your tape twice and ranked you the number one interior defensive lineman in the state. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's not that far off. And on top of that, you got 8 Division I offers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, none of them are super power fives or Penn State or anything like
Yeah.
that. But listen, this is what I wanted to tell you as a person who evaluates talent and study this and eat, breathe, and sleep this. I want you to tell. Somebody told me this last week on a podcast. So I'm gonna tell you this draft right here, this last draft that we just got finished. Right, there was not one player taken from the University of Texas. Not one. Not a UDFA. Not a draft pick spent on a player from Texas. But there were 3 players that teams spent an actual draft pick on from Montana State. Have you ever heard of Montana State?
Yeah, yeah. Is that the team with the that linebacker, that fast linebacker? Yeah, I
Yes.
know
See,
exactly what you're
so
talking
you
about.
know a little bit about it, but I'm pretty sure you
Yeah,
knew about University of Texas before you knew about Montana State, right?
yeah, yeah.
So my only point with all that, and anyone who's watching, is you do not need to go to a Power 5 school to
Hmm.
make it to the NFL. If you got 3 guys from Montana State, FCS schools,
Yeah,
going to the league, and not just going to the league, but being drafted in
yeah,
the league. So that's what I wanted to say to you because, like I told you before, and I'm just gonna be honest, this is my platform, so I'm gonna be super honest. I had plenty of people in my DMs talking about, oh, how could you rank him over
yeah,
blah 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 blah. You know exactly who I'm talking
yeah,
about. You know who I'm
yeah,
talking about. Blah
yeah,
blah. How could you rank him over him? He could play in the league right now. Yes,
yeah,
he probably can play in the league right now. You know why? Because he's super big. Like you
yeah,
can't teach the size that he has. And I'm
yeah,
not here to down him. I'm telling you what it is. I'm telling you from an evaluation perspective. Yes, he probably is going to go to the league. He only needs one good year in college, and he's going to go to the league. But the reason, and I'm glad I can tell you this now, the reason I ranked you number one interior defensive lineman is because that you had the total package. You can pass rush, you can stop the run, and you can play all of the line positions, nose, 3 tech, and end sometimes.
yeah,
Now, if that's not what you're looking for, that's fine. There is a spot in the league for run stuffing defensive tackles. There's a spot for them that
yeah,
that have that specialized skill set that can do that. But if you look, those guys are only on the field for 2 downs. Number one,
hmm,
they almost offer you nothing as a pass rusher.
yeah,
I mean, Jordan Davis came out this year, and he's a good player. He's big, but first of all, he didn't even play over 300 snaps this year in college, and he doesn't offer you anything as a pass rusher. Is he going to get better? Obviously, but give me the guy who can play all 3 positions, can help me in run defense and help me in pass rushing. That is why I rated you the number one interior defensive lineman. I'm glad people are watching this, so I can actually break that down. But just so you know, from me, that is why I rated you the number one interior defensive lineman, in this class. And then now, as we're having this interview and hearing you talk about scheme, hearing you talk about the nuances of the game, I'm even more resolute in the decision I made to do that. So
yeah.
this brings me to my next question. How does Hawk prepare for a game? Like, what is your process? Like, what do you do during a week to get ready for the game in terms of like film study, preparation? What are you doing during the week?
So like with Hillside, it's the Monday we have weight room. We always got weight room throughout the whole season. There's always weight room. And
Mm-hmm.
then after weight room, we have a short practice, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, just to run through things, stretches, just to keep you light on your feet, just get your blood pumping, and then just run throughs, and then
Mm-hmm.
maybe a procedure like a conditioning day is what
Mm-hmm.
Monday and maybe Tuesday is. And then after the conditioning period, after we get done, we have a cool down period for maybe 15, 20 minutes for our coaches to get everything ready because we
Okay.
watch film in the auditorium. So the whole team comes together in the auditorium and we watch it. We break down the teams play, the plays and their best players, find out their best players, identify who we gonna target, who's their weakest player, who we gonna target, who's the best player, who we stay away from, and who we run at, who we block from, stuff like that. We analyze everything, and I feel like that's very important. Like that's what helped, like because this team has won like 3 champions back to back. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's what like made the foundation for like the coaches to keep on going and going and going to take these players to the next level, because the more we know, the more we can adjust and change, because
Mm-hmm.
everything's not black and white during the game. So our coaches preach the behavior, just it's not going to look like this in a game, but this is what you do. This is ABC. If this player does this, that, and the third, these are all the things that you need to do to adjust, so our game plan still looks the same like how we wrote it up. We wrote it up. So it might not just be just a marker on the blackboard or whiteboard of
Mm-hmm.
coach just writing up a play and we follow it to the T, because things do change during the game. Things Players on the other team do make mistakes, so we have to have the ability to be able to adjust and change while with their change. And I feel like that's, other than that, then it's just practice, and it's just practice, and making sure. And scout team, really, we don't really have, like, our scout team is the starting offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Our scout team for defense is the starting defensive line, the starting defense versus starting offense throughout the
Mm-hmm.
entire game. We might have a couple young guys who we feel like can be able to play or start to play in any other position that we need. But it's always going to be the best guys versus the best, because it's going to look like this during the game. And there's no way to get better in practice if you playing against guys that really don't know what's going on or how to execute a regular game plan.
And along those lines, what is one thing that you work on during the season that you're like, I have to get better at this, or I need to do this a little bit better?
One thing was really my hips.
Mm-hmm.
Because during the season, as many, like, because we had a couple losses. We had three, so it was one in the beginning, and then the second one, the first game, like me ever getting there, and then the second, it was the last game of the season, I believe. And so the adjustment really was being able to adjust to, like, these shifty running backs, the running backs where I'm not just going to get in front of you or move a couple steps to the left or run a couple steps to the right, and I'm gonna be able to just grab you and haul you down and take you down. There's going to be guys that's able to make 4 steps when I'm just making my first two. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really adjusting my hips to already be running in whatever direction. Is really reaction and making sure my body goes where I want it to go, and
Mm-hmm.
making sure I could keep my balance, and just being able to flow with the defense and flow with the offense.
Nice. And like I said, sitting here listening to you talk, you have such a cerebral outlook towards the game. Who assisted you in giving you this type of outlook on the game? Like obviously your coaches, but is there a couple people specifically that help you, try to master and try to learn about the cerebral aspects of the game?
Uh, Besides, yeah, nah, not really. Besides me, and maybe from like a couple visits I took, like the visit I took to West Virginia to Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
I know the D line coach there. He was running through a couple plays with me, and the Temple coach as well was running through a couple plays with me, and a couple other guys that help us understand what it's going to look like in college. Like, if we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be there one day, these are things we got to understand. Like, there's going to be a lot of situations that we're going to be put in, and there's a lot of key things that we, like, a foundation that all D linemen need to understand once they go to college, and some things that you need to learn and adjust to once you go to college, because everything's not just snap the ball, go hunt the ball down. Is You got to adjust to what the game plan is and the scheme is, because I feel as though something I learned watching film and watching film with my coaches on teams like Alabama, all these SEC schools, and even like North Dakota State, all these schools, is like, when you play with a lot of great players, the team that really win is the team with the best coaches, because everybody got the same ability in college to do the same
Right.
thing. But it's
Mm-hmm.
what the coach can say to you and how you take it that brings you and the team to the next level. And I feel like that's something that I took in mind when I noticed how, when I went to the Virginia Tech, that was like my first ever like college game, when I noticed like the stances of the D linemen change, not depending on the play, but depending on when they stand up and they see who in the backfield, and they see what a running back is. A running back behind the quarterback, is the running back on the left side, is the running back on the right side. He might, excuse me, he might go into a pass rush stance where he ready to fire out to make a move, or he might sit back and relax so he can analyze for a run stopping move to move the guard or the center left or right. And that's something that
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed, or try to point out when I go on visits to Rutgers, or when I go on visits and look at the games and analyze how the linemen and the O linemen adjust to each other.
Mm-hmm. it's real impressive listening to you speak about the nuances of the game. The fact that you are aware of this as a currently as a junior in high school is just phenomenal, man. And I know you're gonna be a really good D lineman when you go into college. And like I said, if you speaking this talk now, there's certain players that listening to them speak and then watching them play, they're gonna be good. And I get that same vibe from you. So one little playful question I have for you is what is your favorite pregame meal?
Uh, it might be a McGriddle. That's on a.
Oh,
That's on a.
McGriddle.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the first time I heard
I think that's because it's
that.
always most of the games usually in the morning time. So
Uh-huh,
if I'm on the way to the school to get ready, I might have to make a stop to McDonald's and might get an orange juice to get my
uh-huh.
vitamin D. And might get an orange
Yeah.
juice and might get a McGriddle on my way there. And then if I don't get that, the coaches always I believe we got a sponsorship from the
Mhm.
store right next to us or something. I don't know, but
Okay.
they always get us I believe it's a bacon, egg, and cheese maybe with turkey bacon and
Okay.
egg cheese sandwich like eggs and cheese. And other than that, but I don't be eating that down. I don't be having no taste. So
Right. So
I
tell me
go
tell me
ahead.
the no, go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was done.
Oh, okay. I just want to tell me the McGriddle that you get is sausage, egg, and cheese, please.
Yeah. Most
Oh,
definitely.
okay. It gotta
Most
be
definitely.
it gotta
Most
be the
definitely.
sausage, egg, and cheese. All right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite hype music before
Uh it might be Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmare, or it
the
might
game?
be a Nork rapper called Chucky.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna
might
have to
listen to
look him
him.
up.
Got you. It's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff being said in that though.
Okay.
So you gotta make sure you have your headphones on.
All right. All
Uh
right. All
it
right.
might be
All right.
that or I might listen to R&B. R&B,
Mhm.
early 2000s R&B
Okay.
or I might listen to some cuz my mom is like she's like a fanatic. Like she used to like always sing to me. So it might
Okay.
be you ever heard of Gladys Knight? It might
Come
be
on, man. Come on,
it
man.
might
Don't
be
do me like that, bro.
Midnight Train to Georgia. Midnight Train to
Wow.
Georgia
You
might
you
be
must
on
got
that bus ride.
you must got an old soul. People tell you got an old soul.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. And I understand. I'm putting it together. Your mom used to sing to you. You got it also.
yeah,
I get it. Okay. Yeah, I listened to R&B before the game. All right. But some players always say that some players like to be really, really hyped before the game to get
yeah,
them out there. But some other players like to be really calm during the game so they can think and they can see
yeah.
what's going on out there. So is that you? Like when you need to be calm before the game?
Uh, I feel like getting hype is something that only happens once the snap of the ball. Like before a
Hmm.
game, I always get them butterflies. Like it's about to happen. Like you spend a whole week preparing for this game that's about to last just like 3 hours. So you spending countless hours just for
Hmm.
these like 2 hours. And so I feel like it's always time. Like once I fully lock in, like the music never helped me because I'm from like even if you see me like before the game, I'm laughing with my teammates. I might be joking. I might be joking
Hmm.
about how another player got his swag. I don't like
Right.
anybody can get it. So
Yeah.
I might be joking like me outside the field. Like I'm going to joke around with you. Even once we like before game time, I might make a joke or two. Like I feel like I don't perform unless I'm able to be comfortable and have fun. So relax.
Hmm.
And so, but once they singing the anthem, and once we start yelling, and it's time to like get ready for the game, and that
Yeah.
first snap is like it's snap because we always start off on defense. So once
Hmm.
it's that first snap. After the first snap, I feel like that's when I'm finally locked in and I'm calm and I'm ready to make plays. And once I make plays and I get hyped, then it's over. You can't stop me.
Yeah. Do you get goosebumps during the national anthem? I used to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
goosebumps, and I
all the
still
time.
get goosebumps, man. Like every time
Yeah,
I hear the national anthem, my goosebumps just get crazy.
yeah,
That's how you know that you've been on a football field. That's how you know when you're
um,
a football player when you get those goosebumps during the national anthem. So
yeah.
next question is, what is your favorite post game meal?
Uh, I really don't know. It really might be whatever's home because
Hmm.
once I get home, I might take a nap for like an hour or two, and
Hmm.
then I think I might take a shower, like, cause I know like the floor is like amazing. Like after
Mhm.
football or whatever you're doing, you don't even want to touch your bed. As soon as you get home, you're ready to just knock out. It might be the couch,
Right,
it might be the floor, but something about to get your whole body on it. And
right,
so it
right.
might so once I go to sleep, I might wake up probably around, depending on what time the game was, I might wake up around 4 or 5, or I might wake up like in the middle of the night if
Uh-huh.
we got a night game. And I might eat whatever is in the house, maybe leftovers. So it really depends on what's home.
Okay. So I got more of a these two next questions are more of
Mm,
serious questions, but
mm,
next question I have for you is what is your ultimate goal with football? What do you plan to accomplish with football on an ultimate level? If it goes the way that you envision it in your mind, the best way it could possibly
mm.
go, what does that look like?
It's going to the league and actually being a superstar, not just getting there and going there for a mini camp. I want to get there and be able to perform and be able to be somebody that they're ready to call my name and know that
Mhm,
once I'm on the field, just like how my coaches treat me at a high school team. I want to be able to go on the field and be able to know that the whole team is waiting for me to make that play, for everybody to turn up, for everybody to go crazy, or for me to be able to make the game changing play, the game changing holding a double team so that the linebacker could go down, because make sure that the guard don't go down block to the linebacker, making sure I could
mhm.
be able to stop something or make that play where everybody know my name, or everybody know that once I'm in the game, we good.
I like it, man. He got league aspirations, man. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. Well, now my next question, I don't usually ask this question, but I'm gonna ask you this question. Let's
Mm,
say you don't make it to the NFL. Do you have another
yeah.
plan that you plan to execute if you don't make it to the league?
I really got 3 plans that I'm not decided on which one I want to do. It's either I think it's either 3 or 4. It's either sports management, and then it's business and marketing, so that I could like it's like I know that it's good jobs that come with that, and it's a good
Hmm.
pay, and it's as long as I'm able to take care of my family, or take care of the people that I want to take care of. That's all I'm really working towards. And so that's my main goal. So I feel like business and marketing can take me there, but I definitely know it's not as easy as it might sound, because it's a couple college kids that go to from Hillside that came back for summer break, and they tell me
Hmm.
that it's not as easy as you might think it is. Like college is still school. It's not just
Yeah,
football and just football only. And
yeah,
so
because hmm
and so then it's also that I learned from my coach that it might be a good idea to take to learn like how to be a teacher. I forgot the name of the
hmm
major, but it might be
hmm
important to make sure you could get that, because coaching, I know a lot of players go to college and then end up being a coach. If football don't work out, but we always go through things like things outside of football, like learning about pension and learning about salary and learning
hmm
about how much a person might make if they got 100K salary. This person making 6,000 every 2 weeks, every month.
hmm
This person is making this amount of money for this amount of for this degree in this major, from this major, and there's a lot of things that go into it's not just football. Because not I
hmm
know I understand that not everybody is just going to make it out. It's
right,
still other things that you got to do.
right, and that's one of the things that I always like to impress upon. Anybody that wants to get into this field, whether it's a player or just a regular average Joe, what I mean?
Yeah,
If you want to work in sports, there is a spot for you, whether it's doing what I'm
yeah,
doing, media, podcasting, like you said, sports management. There is a plethora of avenues that you can employ or explore to
yeah,
still be around the game and still make money, for yourself. So I'm very
yeah,
impressed and I'm very encouraged to hear that you have not one plan but three and then five in
yeah,
total. So that's very
yeah.
encouraging, to hear. So my last question for you is well, this isn't my last question because I got another question.
Mm.
What is your why? Why do you play football?
It's really, I think I told you earlier. It was so that I could get to college for free. That was really the only goal. It wasn't to go until I transferred. It wasn't to go Power Five or go to Alabama with Nick Saban or Georgia. It was really just make sure my mom don't got to be in debt, or I don't got to be in debt for the rest of my life to ruin credit or ruin something that, because I understand, I know that jobs isn't going to be sort of like, I'm not going to get a job jumping out of college, whether I graduate or not. So
Mm-hmm.
it's what school can put me in the best situation? What school can I go to who's willing to pay for me to go to school? That's
Mm-hmm.
really that's really the biggest thing with me and my mom and my father is just where can I go? Where can I go for free to make sure that y'all good. So make sure once I leave, y'all don't have to worry about making my payments, then making sure that they're being able to pay their rent and pay for their car note and insurance and be able to pay for groceries and stuff like that, making sure everything good at home. And if I'm able to be able to send money back home and be able to support them after doing everything they could for me.
That's good. That's amazing, man. That was a perfect answer right there. That was a perfect
Yeah.
answer, man. So this will be my last question. So I did see on your Twitter that you're going to Temple this Saturday, correct? That's what you
Yeah.
said.
Yes, sir.
So I don't usually ask recruiting questions, but we had a conversation off air where you felt comfortable answering those questions. So I'm going to
Yeah.
ask you just at least one. What school? What schools? Well, no. Let me rephrase this. What are you looking for in the college that you eventually plan to attend? Let me ask that.
Football wise or school wise?
Both.
Football wise, and I go this like whatever recruiting visit or when I'm talking to a coach and they ask me, is making sure that like the team is willing to like they have belief and not just me, but all the players. Like we
Mm-hmm.
are the guys that are playing for y'all. So I feel as though I don't want to be just your robot that is just doing this, that, and the third because you said just do this, that, and the third. I want to know why I got to do it, why it's going to make me be great, and why am I and once I perform it, I feel as though I should be able to give you all the credit because you helped me get there and you told me
Mm-hmm.
why I had to get there. So when I'm explaining to people why I do things, I can be able to give you the credit so it doesn't create this rift between coaches and players where it's like, oh, I put him in this situation, but he taking all the credit. Same thing with the coaches. Like, I don't want the whole team to have a great game and then you say that, oh, it was because of the great coaching when it was also the great players that helped carry out and keep the discipline to take home this game.
That's
And
it. That.
school wise,
Yes. Go ahead. School wise. Yep.
and school wise is really is making sure that I'm able to I feel like school wise is really all on me and making sure that school is also like they're able to hold me and other players accountable even though as an adult you should be able to like do everything you're supposed to do when you're home. I feel as though school is a priority that nobody should like be exempt because at the end of the day, not everybody is going to the NFL after 3 years. It's college. It's kids in college now that's been in college since I was in seventh grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as though it should be a priority that kids that go to college should be able to focus on school just as much as they're able to focus on sports. And I feel like something I learned is that from a couple like a college visit a while ago is that the kids wasn't really going to morning classes. So it was like it's like if you put what they like their livelihood runs off of and what they need to pay for their mom bills and to put their mom in this nice house, if you put that in the morning, they're going to definitely wake up for that. They wouldn't even me personally, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I'm gonna wake up 6 in the morning
Mm-hmm.
to go to class at 7:30
Yeah.
to hear a lecture for 3, 4, 5 hours. But
Yeah.
if we were to put the most important things in the morning, no matter how mad you are that you gotta wake up at 5:30, because I'm not even a morning person, I'm still gonna do it because it's something that I have to do. And so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's very important. And that's really it.
All right, man. Well, listen. Whatever college you decide to go to, whatever coaches get you is definitely just from this interview, man. It's gonna be a delight to have you there, man. And you're a very impressive young man. I'm definitely glad that I decided to, sit down and have this interview with you because this morning I was writing that article, man. And I was like, man, I really want to talk to this young man. So that's when I
Yeah.
messaged you and it was just like, yo, you want to do an interview sometime? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I'm very glad that you decided to sit down with me. But before I go, I do have one last question. You got to tell me what is 140 boys? What is that? What does that mean? what is 140 boy? I don't know if you can see the comments, but
Yeah.
Samir Newcomb said 140 boys. What's that mean? You gotta tell me what that means.
Yeah, I knew it. That's my guy from like middle school since 5th grade.
Okay.
140 is Route 22, right?
Okay.
So cause my coach said it to me when I first was about to transfer, and I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So Route 22, Roselle, like it's like the exit. So
Okay.
140 and then 141 is like the exit lanes. And so my coach, when he first got here, he started and he was like this is 140 right here. Like this is the exit to get to 140. And so the teams that really play us always exit off of 140. So it just
Okay.
came up as like we the 140 boys. Like this the exit before you gonna get your mouth punched in.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's actually fire though. That's dope though. I like that.
Yeah.
That's what's up though. Your coach is a very innovative young man. I have to
Yeah.
meet this young man and talk to him too. But thank you, Hawk. I appreciate you, coming on here and doing this interview with me. Hopefully we can get another interview in like before the season starts. That's my goal with every player that I interview, to try to get an interview in before the season starts and maybe after the season starts. So definitely gonna come catch one of your games, man. And just like I said, once again, man, I appreciate you doing this interview with me, and I appreciate all of the watchers that was able to sit and watch this interview. Like I said, this will be posted on YouTube and it's on my Facebook Live and my Twitter. So thank you to all the viewers who sat in and watched, and keep it locked here again, and look out on my Twitter page for more player interviews. And again, Hawk, appreciate you coming on, man, and we'll holla at you.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.